Milestones in retrospect of the Bishops Ulama Conference. In March of 1996, it was announced that the Philippine government, under the presidency of Fidel V. Ramos, was finalizing a peace agreement with the Moro National Liberation Front under Chairman Noor Miswari. The formal signing was scheduled for September 1, 1996. In planning the implementation of the peace accord, it was felt advisable and necessary to enlist the help of the religious leaders of Mindanao, that is, those professing the Christian and Islamic faiths. So, on 16 July 1996, Archbishop Fernando Capalla, Archbishop of Davao, and then Chair of the Episcopal Commission for Interreligious Dialogue, and Dr. Maid Motilan, President of the Ulama League of the Philippines, met at the office of the President of the Ateneo de Manila University in Quezon City. They were accompanied by several ulama, 2 Catholic bishops and a Catholic priest, and 3 advisors of President Ramos. It was agreed that an organization of Christian and Muslim religious leaders was to be established in Mindanao. On September 1, 1996, the peace agreement was officially signed in Malacanang Palace by Chairman Noor Miswari for the MNLF and by Ambassador Manuel Yan for the Philippine government, in the presence of President Ramos, foreign ambassadors, and religious leaders in the Philippines. 3 months later, on November 29, 1996, the Bishops Ulama Conference, or BUC, was established and inaugurated at the Sacred Heart Center in Cebu City in the presence of His Eminence Ricardo Cardinal Vidal, the officials of the National Secretariat for Social Action, Justice and Peace of the Catholic Bishops Conference of the Philippines, or CBCP, and of the staff of the Catholic Relief Services of the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops. The original membership of the Bishops Ulama Conference numbered 21 Catholic bishops, 26 Muslim ulama, and later on they were joined by 18 Protestant bishops and pastors. Archbishop Capalla and Dr. Motilan were elected conveners. Later, the group acquired legal identity when the Securities and Exchange Commission approved its constitution and bylaws. Its governing board is now known as the Tripartite Commission, composed of 4 members for each sector, totaling 12 in all. A secretariat based at the Elena Tower Inn in Iligan City served as the coordinating body of the activities of the conference. For the past 10 years, the conference has been holding its General Assembly every 3 months. Aside from the Catholic Relief Services, its activities then have been supported by the Office of the Presidential Advisor on the Peace Process, or OPAP, from the beginning until the year 2005. In 2006, the Asia Foundation and the Catholic Relief Services have shouldered the financial requirements of the major activities of the conference. As a loose organization of religious leaders, the main objectives of the Bishops Ulama Conference is to promote the correct understanding of the Christian and Islamic faiths, which teach and impart common moral and spiritual values that are considered indispensable elements of justice and peace as well as of progress and development. Underpinning all these is the value of respectful and friendly dialogue, which, however long and tedious, is the only human and humane way of resolving conflicts. This dialogue has underpinned the following events, which are considered significant milestones during the 10 years existence of the Bishops Ulama Conference. The annual celebration throughout the region of Mindanao of the Mindanao Week of Peace, involving religious, civic, government and non-governmental sectors, and officially endorsed by presidential proclamations of Presidents Estrada and Macapagal Arroyo. The number of peace groups and initiatives has been increasing since 1999. The Tripartite Youth Peace Camp, a biannual event which gathers 200 to 300 Muslim, Christian and Lumad youth for a 5-day camp activities, which resulted in forging deep friendships among the youth leaders of the region. A BUC assembly was held for the first time, where wives and children of the Protestant bishops and Muslim ulama spent 3 days discussing how the families could support the peace activities of the conference. A significant symposium was held on Maryam in the Quran and Mary in the Bible, which emphasized significant consensus on the group's knowledge and understanding of the Mother of Jesus Christ as taught by the respective Holy Book, was successfully held in Cagayan de Oro on August 29, 2001 during the 16th BUC General Assembly. The historic gathering of the First Asian Bishops Ulama Conference, attended by Christian and Muslim delegates from 19 countries. The event was held at the Western Philippine Plaza Hotel in Manila and graced by Her Excellency President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. One of its main resolutions was to extend the network of the Bishops Ulama Conference to other Asian countries. The 28th General Assembly, which discussed this theme, Women and Youth, Partners in Peace Building, became the first time in 9 years that the BUC exchanged doctrinal issues and came out surprisingly with a unanimous agreement on important teachings of both Christianity and Islam on the same topic. What facilitated the consensus was the atmosphere of trust that had been established among the members of the conference. This year's most significant event was the holding of the Indonesia Mindanao Bishops Ulama Network, or IMBUN, last August 15 to 16 in General Santos City, Sarangani Province, an implementation of the resolution of the First Asian Bishops Ulama Conference. 3 Indonesian ulama, 3 Catholic bishops, and 2 Protestant leaders responded to our invitation. They came from prestigious organizations like the Catholic Bishops Conference of Indonesia, the Muhammadiyah Islamiyah, and the Christian Conference of Asia Indonesia chapter. Areas of collaboration between the 2 countries were identified. Final approval of the network is expected soon. They are sending 6 Indonesian youth to attend our Tripartite Youth Peace Camp next month in Marawi City. The Bishops Ulama Conference became finally the most credible peace and dialogue organization in Mindanao when, at the request of the More Islamic Liberation Front's Peace Panel, the conveners called to a peace consultation all Mindanao leaders last 9 to 10 October 2006 at the Manday Hotel in Davao City. The purpose was to bring back to the negotiating table the two panels in order to resume the peace talks which were stalled on the issue of ancestral domain. Now, on the international recognition gained by the conference. The conference has received international recognition through the following events. In September 2003, Pope John Paul II, talking to several Filipino bishops from Luzon and Mindanao, cited the BUC as a group that can implement the 2003 Assisi Decalogue for Peace, which he also had sent to heads of state worldwide. At the United Nations organizations in New York, the Philippine ambassador and later President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo herself and Speaker Jose de Venecia in 2005 took turns inciting the Bishops Ulama Conference together with the Peace Weavers and Mindanao Caucus as models of interfaith dialogue and collaboration that could be replicated in other countries of the world. The World Conference on Religion and Peace, based in New York, elected the BUC co-convener Archbishop Kapalia as one of its honorary presidents. The Multi-Faith Center of Griffith University in Brisbane, Australia, elected Archbishop Kapalia as members of its advisory committee. The World Islamical Society of Libya invited the three BUC conveners to Tripoli in 2003 to attend the September Interfaith Assembly, where Archbishop Kapalia was assigned as one of its moderators. The Manila-based Australian Embassy co-sponsored with the Bishops Ulama Conference an Interfaith Dialogue for Peace in June of 2005. The Vatican-based Pontifical Council for Promoting Christian Unity, in collaboration with the Federation of Asian Bishops Conferences, presented the Bishops Ulama Conference in July 2006 at the Asian Seminar on Ecumenism as one approach to Christian unity through ecumenical dialogue. Although not quantifiable in terms of depth, the most important and priceless results of the interreligious dialogue and collaboration promoted by the conference for the past 10 years was the enduring friendship and trusting relationships among the bishops and the ulama. This friendship was the end product of the following observable and quantifiable activities of the dialogue process. It was observed that there was more interest on genuine Islam on the part of the Christians and on genuine Christianity on the part of the Muslims in Mindanao. Also observed was more tolerance and understanding from both groups in Mindanao. The dialogues were brought down to the level of the Christian and Muslim school administrators, professors, teachers, and staff in the region. Some universities and colleges in Mindanao, especially the Notre Dame University in Cotabato City, are now offering peace education through dialogue. The youth leaders, both in and out of school, are now involved in the peace process through interreligious dialogues or interfaith dialogue around the region. And finally, success stories of reconciliation through repentance and forgiveness among Muslims and between Christians and Muslims were reported and documented. It can be said that the Bishops Ulama Conference believe and are deeply convinced that the only way to bring about lasting peace and justice in Mindanao is through the healing of the psychological wounds of war and conflict. This healing, which is based on the Quranic and biblical teachings and confirmed by some success stories, can only be effected through repentance and forgiveness, an indispensable element in reconciliation and an important aspect of the process of addressing the demands of social justice. In the words of the late Pope John Paul II, and I quote, "There is no peace without justice, no justice without forgiveness." This confirms the prophetic statement of the Anglican Archbishop of South Africa and a Nobel Prize awardee, Desmond Tutu, who said, and I quote, "There is no future for our country without forgiveness." The Bishops Ulama Conference is committed to pursue the processes leading to this indispensable element of an enduring peace in this region of Mindanao.